I'm now playing remotely over Twingate. This isn't on my local network, because if I actually come here and then turn off Twingate, we lose connection. Join via IP. I now can't connect back to that server, but if I then go ahead and re-enable Twingate, I'm sure sensing a pattern here at this point. Hello, today I'll be showing you how to access your home network from anywhere with Twingate via a VPN. Let's just get straight into the video and actually set up Twingate. So what Twingate does is it creates a secure VPN tunnel between your device on 4G or another network into your home network, so you can access your self-hosted containers such as Audio Bookshelf, MCS Manager, game servers, Jellyfin, everything we've set up for the last few weeks, we can now access from anywhere in the world using Twingate. Cloudflare is also an option, which we're going to cover in a different video because that's a whole nother monster, because we'll be setting up control policies, warp. Cloudflare is a huge thing, but it's still easy. But we're going to do Twingate today just because it's, in my opinion, the most secure way to do it. So what you first do is come over to twingate.com, and what we're going to do is click sign in, create a new Twingate network, and we're going to type in an email address here. And then where do you plan to use Twingate? We're just going to go at home because that's what we do. And then we select Homelab, access a private cloud, and you can just put anything you like here. I'll just put YouTube. There you go. So now we can choose our name. I think mine's going to be taken, so I'm just going to do YT on the end. Okay, so I've set mine up. My network name is Nath Server. I wonder if I can have a space here. That would be nice. There we go. So we've got Nath Server, and I've gone for Nath Server YT just because I already have Nath Server in use for my actual Homelab. And let's just go to our network and choose a sign-in method. So I'm going to use Google, but you can use whatever you like here. So we've signed into Twingate, no paywall, which is lovely. We like to do things for free here. The whole kind of point of my channel is to remove subscriptions from your life. So we're doing all of that. Okay, congratulations, your new Twingate network. Here are a few steps to help you launch successfully. Let's just do start setup, and you'll see our options. So you can either install it with Docker, Linux, or if you have Proxmox, you can actually connect it straight to the Proxmox virtual environment, or your Home Assistant, Unraid, and you have some more options down here as well. So there's plenty of ways to connect Twingate to different resources you have. But for today, we're going to use Docker, and it's going to ask you to generate tokens. Just means you have to sign in with Google one more time. There we go. So we now have our access tokens. Make sure you keep these a secret because they're private to you. You can also set up custom DNS servers, make the connector available on your local network, but the optional ones you don't really need. And then what's really nice is Twingate will generate you the Docker command that you need to use. So let's open up our terminal that we always use. Let's copy our command. I'm going to type sudo first and then paste the command. And then I'll type my password in. Just because Docker will error straight away and just say no access to the daemon, and then you have to type sudo anyway. So cool, just wait for the download, it's nice and quick. And then in a second, Twingate should just update. There we go, we're onboarded. So we're now connected, that easy. So we deployed our connector. And now you can either just do a single machine or the entire network. I'm going to do a single machine today. And what's our domain name? We'll just leave that as optional. So I've put my machine IP in and create a resource. There we go. And now you need to download Twingate onto your device. So I'm going to download this for Windows, and we're actually going to get this all signed up. For example, in the last video, we set up a game server. So if I head over to this, you'll notice we can access this now. But I do have a test network set up. So if I switch over to our second network we have, and just to show you that I've actually changed network, I have a second terminal window open here, where I have a nice command here where you can now see we're on a network called remote network rather than my standard network. If I refresh, this page is going to time out. You can see it's trying to connect down there. So you can see nothing's actually working now when we just loaded it. There you go, Jellyfin doesn't load. So we're stuck. We can't access our network right now. But if we install Twingate, I'm going to stay on this second network as well. Just accept the privilege. We have the Twingate installer over here. It's up to you if you enable diagnostic logs as well, but you can just hit finish, and you do need to restart your device. But I'm going to hit no and I can restart later. That's fine. My core system should still work. So you can see we actually timed out. We're not able to connect to our home server at all. So let's open up Twingate, the app. So I'll pull it over to the other screen as soon as it loads up. So here we go. So remote work secured. And then this is that domain we set, not the name, the domain. So mine was called like Nath server with a space. My domain though is Nath server YT, and click join. And then it's going to ask you to authenticate through the way you did before. So sign in with Google. There you go. Authenticated, we can close, and I should be able to pull Twingate back up. Where'd it go? But now since we're authenticated, we can click our arrow down here and you'll see the Twingate icon. If you right click here, you'll see that we have a resource available to us. And you can see some options, so start and login, Kubernetes as well, how Twingate works, and you can enable it and add multiple systems. But what we can now do is, I'll just prove that I'm on the same network, nothing else has changed. There you go, you'll see we're still on remote network. And hopefully, if I refresh this, there you go, Jellyfin's loading. There you go, so I have 2 Jellyfins here, but if we jump back, we should get our game server hosting as well back. There we go. Mini PC, so this is our Jellyfin server we set up earlier. And we're still on the same network we did earlier. So if I go ahead and actually disconnect Twingate. Oh. So let me turn it off and refresh. You'll see now Jellyfin is going to be stuck on connecting again. But if I turn it back on, we'll be able to access it. So now you can access Jellyfin MCS Manager from anywhere in the world. I just want to show you the admin panel of Twingate. So you can add more resources. So you can add a Homelab network, which is what we already have, the address, and then the CIDR as well. So you could add an entire subnet. It's completely up to you, but we just have this entire machine now. If you open up ports, I have every TCP, every UDP, and ICMP port allowed. And you can have access control policies. There's loads you can do in Twingate. But I've kind of proved to you today that now you can access everything outside of everywhere. After looking at the admin panel, the next thing I want to show you is how to remotely access your game server we set up in last week's video on Wednesday. So if we head over to our MCS Manager portal, you'll see I have my Terraria server currently running. And if I that is Gemini helping with a task, you'll notice I'm still on my test network called remote. I'm not on my standard home network. And if I pull up Terraria here, and we go multiplayer, join via IP, our character, and then our server at the bottom. There you go. I'm now playing remotely over Twingate. This isn't on my local network, because if I actually come here and then turn off Twingate, we lose connection. Join via IP. I now can't connect back to that server, but if I then go ahead and re-enable Twingate, I'm sure sensing a pattern here at this point. Join via IP. Let me just make sure it did reconnect, which it has. And then I click here. I'm already on the server, so I've broke Terraria. But there you go. So now you can access any of your home server applications from anywhere in the world on your phone, on your device, as long as you have a Twingate application. It's on Android, Mac, iOS, Windows, Mac. Well, I've said Mac already. Chromebook as well. So there we go. So this is our first option for the most secure free remote access. You can also add multiple containers and remote networks. So if you wanted to add another, you could say this one's on-premise and add remote network. Again, if I jump into test, I can then add a connector specifically for test. So any of these, and then we can go back through the same setup again, and you can build out your entire home network here. But there you go. If you do enjoy this video where we actually got remote access working properly for game servers, web UIs, Jellyfin, video streaming, then please leave a like, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.